Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Mark Wrong Tower, this is Albatross 1-3, requesting permission to land, over.
I don't need a computer to tell me how to land a damn airplane.
6.
Heads-up display, check.
5,
Lasers, check.
4,
Particle beam, check.
3,
Photon bolts, check.
2,
Chair control, check.
1.
Let's do it.
Broadcasting from a secret underground location somewhere in Mos Eisley. This is the Docking Bay 77 podcast. Make yourself comfortable. The show is about to start. Hello and welcome to the Docking Bay 77 podcast. I am your host, Dayton Johnson. Joining me in the studio this week, 3 musical gentlemen. I'm just the other guy that hosts, whatever. It is I'm going to do him last because his intros, I promised the other 2 guys. So
thank you.
He is the drawer of cool things. It is John Wright. How you doing, John?
On a scale of great to I want to punch somebody in the face, I'm currently at I hope somebody stubs their toe really hard.
Yes. And he keeps trying to convince us he's healthy for us, but whatever. It is Tim Brown. How you doing, Tim?
Like most healthy things, I'm better when dipped in ranch.
Hopefully you don't make this. Hopefully you don't give us diarrhea like all the other.
I was going to
stuff.
say, right? Eat vegetables, not right now. Anyway, and he is the grumpy old dude of the group. It is Eric Brock. How you doing, Eric?
A lot better on the inside than I look on the outside. But, I'm definitely the grumpy guy in this episode. I have a feeling. So.
Wow.
Let me get my seatbelt here to
buckle up. Spoiler alert. So this particular episode, we are revisiting a topic from a few seasons ago where we pick artists that you should be listening to but aren't. So it's the 3rd time we've done it. So we're calling it our Underrated Bands Again episode. So we've done it a couple times, and I like to do it and revisit it, and we'll probably revisit it again next season. Because it's always a good idea to try to get more music into people's ears, because if you're depending on YouTube and Spotify to give you new music, well, it's probably going to be shit. So, and it's probably going to be AI. So we don't want that either. So with this, at least this way, it's 4 guaranteed human beings picking some music for you to try out. Whether you like it or not, that's for you to decide, but still. So, we'll take a minute to explain the format and the order. What's going to happen is the person goes, we're going to talk about who the artist is and why they picked them, discuss why they picked the songs for their playlists, and then we, the other 3 remaining, will share thoughts and the favorite song from the playlist they shared with us. So the order is going to be John first, then Tim, then Eric, and bringing up the rear is, of course, me. So John, you're first out of the gate. Tell us about your artist, why you picked them, and talk about the songs you picked.
Well, my artist is a Houston-based band that I love dearly, the Galactic Cowboys. If any of you people have listened to any of the music episodes I'm on, I almost always try to sneak in a King's X or a Beatles reference. Galactic Cowboys are like a heavy version of King's X, Beatlesque harmonies, more of an Anthrax style or a metal style sound. They've been around since 91 officially, with some breakups here and there, getting ready to release a new album sometime later this year. But they're just to me, they're a great band that we'll probably never ever see tour ever again. They've said they probably, unless they get an incredible offer, which is more than likely not going to happen to a band of their status. It'll just be, Kickstarter releases for the remainder of their career. But
Okay.
I love them, and they're a heavier King's X with a slightly Monty Python-esque sense of humor at times. I mean, one of the tracks on their first album was a recorded lunch menu from the elementary school, and I just loved it because at the end of it, and for the Catholic kids, fish.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. It was actually when I saw you with your pick, I was like, I'm surprised and not surprised. So, yeah.
I wanted to go more deeper into some stuff, but I started looking at my catalog of music, and I've got a pretty how a couch gets really comfy and it kind of molds to your butt? I've got a pretty substantial butt print in my music that I don't venture too far out of. So, that'd be it. What is these guys with the release of the new album coming up and a few things I've seen here and there on Facebook just kind of seemed like it was a good choice. So
knowing what a vinyl aficionado Dayton is, I'm sure that the concept of warping the music is just horrifying to him.
It's not warping the music. It's warping the universe the music is in.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So when it came across and I saw you pick them, it occurred to me I have not listened to these guys over the better part of 20 years. Mm-hmm. Like I own their first CD. I still have it. I bought it like years ago and I still have it, but I haven't revisited them. In fact, when you said, I looked at their discography, I was like, oh, they've actually still been active, but yeah, it's a shame they don't tour. It is a shame.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, well, in this day and age, artists of their level are probably you'd have to sell a kidney.
More than likely, yes.
Per member.
All right. So we'll start off with Tim. Thoughts on the Galactic Cowboys, and of these songs that John picked, what was your favorite track?
Well, like you, Dayton, I had not really paid attention to them and revisited them probably since our WMUM days. And now that's not entirely true, though, because I'm Not Amused is actually in my liked songs on Spotify. So it does pop around occasionally. But other than that, nothing else. I was completely unaware until maybe 6 or 8 months ago on Facebook, they started posting about working on a new album. And that was pretty much my oh, those guys are still around. And I hadn't listened to anything except the first album, but I do remember absolutely loving that album. Probably the favorite song, I'm going to have to go Somebody for Everyone.
Okay. All right.
Or Someone for Everyone.
Right. So, before we move on, John, what prompted you to pick the songs you did?
I wanted to get an overview of their catalog, and I wanted it to be original songs. They do have, they've got a great covers EP called "The Horse That Bud Bought."
Okay, right.
Where they do Junior's Farm and "I Want You" by Kiss and a few other stuff here and there. But I really wanted to show where they started, where they're at. And there's really not a whole lot. This is a good or bad thing. There's not a whole lot of change from the beginning to where they are now. They've kept their sound pretty similar.
Pretty consistent. Yeah.
I agree. I think you can also tell the newer stuff, this production wise and just
the production.
You can tell. Yeah. You can tell.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Mm-hmm. And thoughts, Tim, anything else you want to add before we move on to Eric?
Other than just a quick anecdote of remembering watching them open for King's X up in Dayton.
Yep.
And loving that show.
I just remember Monty, the bass player, walking by us and just kind of doing that.
Finger guns, yes.
All right. Well, let's buckle up. Eric, thoughts on the Galactic Cowboys?
remember them from, back in the day, and they're one of those bands that, like, I'm Not Amused will pop up or something, and I'll go, oh man, I remember these guys. I got to listen to these guys, and then I just never do. They definitely have kind of a King's X vibe that I feel, so that automatically
definitely
makes me like them a little bit. They do seem to have more songs that I don't like than they have songs that I do like, but they do have several songs that I do like. The track that I would pick is the same one Tim picked, "Someone for Everyone." I think that's a really, really good song.
All right.
I'm mildly impressed. I got away somewhat unscathed in that one.
I think he's saving his stuff for me. I'm just got a feeling.
I have a feeling we got a swerve coming here.
Yeah, I mean, "Someone for Everyone" is definitely my favorite track from the first album.
Okay,
it meant a lot to me when I first heard it, because I was the perpetually single guy throughout the majority of my life. So it was just kind of nice to hear that sentiment put out there that, hey, there is somebody out there, whether or not that person's worth it or not is another story. And
right,
some of those
I
people
think that's a whole different album.
Yeah, some of those people that weren't worth it will probably say the same thing about me, but it is what it is. You live, you learn, you move on. So,
all right. Well, so my thoughts, like I said before, I haven't listened to these guys probably in over 20 years, except for like when Pandora used to suggest stuff or play stuff. And yeah, I'm sure, I'm Not Amused came up, frequently enough. And so listening to the songs you picked, the one that stuck out to me and eventually became my favorite was If I Were a Killer. For some reason, I just love the aggression. I love the sound.
It's got a great groove.
It does. And I was like, okay.
It's another fun one. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, this feels different than the rest. And I mean, I like the other ones. I like Zombies pretty well. Internal Masquerade was actually pretty cool too. So I actually liked all the songs you picked, but for my money, If I Were a Killer was the one that I would, when it was over, I'd click back and go, I want to listen to that again. So, but yeah, I enjoyed it. So thank you for bringing them back to my ear holes. It's been a long time since I've actually spent time listening to them. So,
well, you're welcome. I think I get bonus points because there are no fade outs on any of the tracks I picked.
The no fade out award goes.
That's right. That's right. All right, fantastic. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to Tim's pick. Tim, tell us about your artist, why you picked them, and then tell us about the playlist.
My pick is an Australian guitarist who goes just by his first name, Plini. He released his first album in 2016 called Handmade Cities, and he just released his third album recently here in the last couple of months. And I just, as soon as I heard about him first on Rick Beato's channel when he interviewed him, and I thought, well, this guy sounds interesting. I'll go look him up. And everything I heard, I was like, yep, this is right up my alley. I was always big into the shredder guitarists back in the 80s and 90s, your Satches and your Vais. And Vai himself even said that, let me get the quote up here, that his debut album was one of the finest forward-thinking, melodic, rhythmically and harmonically deep instrumental guitar records he had ever heard.
Wow, that's some high praise coming from Vai.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that was what as I was listening to the songs, that was my brain going, this guy, I listened to all the shredder instrumental albums from the 80s and early 90s and said, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, but somehow I feel like he manages to instill some quieter, almost jazz kind of moments in, rather than just the straight metal shred.
Right.
Which I really appreciate. I really like his melodic sense. I really like that. The last song in my playlist, Birds, the little short piece, he actually got the inspiration for that piece from a photograph of birds sitting on telephone lines that he took. I don't know if he took it or not, but he saw birds sitting on a telephone line and thought, those telephone lines kind of are spaced out like lines on a music staff, and the birds are kind of spaced out kind of like notes. So he wrote that out on a proper staff, and that phrase is what begins the piece.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's kind of clever. It's kind of clever. All right. So why'd you pick the songs you picked?
I just tried to pick a good cross section of the stuff that he does. I tried to pick some heavier stuff, some lighter stuff, the birds piece, kind of an interesting little melodic exploration. I just wanted to try and get a good overall flavor.
Okay. All right. So we'll start with Eric this time. Eric, thoughts on Pliny and any favorite track?
When I first heard Pliny on YouTube, I kind of really dove in and listened to a lot of his stuff. And then I just kind of quit listening to him, which is, it's weird because as a guitar player myself that does write and record his own instrumental stuff, you'd think it would be right up my alley. But I actually find that even though I love, instrumental, I love writing it and recording and all, I don't really listen to it all that much. I mean, it's like Surfing with the Alien and Passion with the Warfare is probably the majority of my instrumental listening, really. But, no doubt the guy's talented. The track that I would probably pick for the one I like the most is Electric Sunrise.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Yep. He's definitely saving his negativity for me. So, all right. So, John.
I will say I kind of did think, because it's also one of my favorite tracks, Electric Sunrise of his. It's got that, Eric and I always talk about the mountain moments. When the tapping kicks in at the beginning of that song, that's pure mountain moment for me.
All right, John. Thoughts on Pliny?
Oh, where to begin? First of all, now, and it's this is going to sound negative, and I apologize for that because it's not really meant to be negative. Much like Eric, I'm not really big into instrumental stuff. Listening to a lot of it. Eric, I have listened to your stuff, and it's awesome. I'll just throw that out there. And Pliny is incredibly talented. This sounds like a put down, and it's not. It reminds me of like some of the CDs I used to get at the Rainforest store to listen to go to sleep. Those instrumental CDs.
When you had the Anya and
not Anya. I have Craig Chicasso from the Jefferson Starship.
Right. Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of the one I had of him. And that's not a bad thing.
What's the one that was like the Native American? Hi.
I have no idea.
That was always on in that store.
But it reminds me of that stuff again with a lot more talent and a lot more diversity. It's very, what's the word I'm looking for here? Pretentious, but in a good way.
It's weird. I don't mean to interrupt real quick, but it's almost like I enjoy it more if I can watch him do it on YouTube.
Probably,
right?
Yes. That would probably be true.
I am really hoping I can swing it to go up. He's going to be playing in Cleveland in October of this year, and I'm hoping I can swing a little extra change and go catch that. But we'll see. I got my fingers crossed for it.
It is very good for me. It's very good concentration music. So I found myself listening to this stuff a lot while I was working on some art or doing some stuff around the house that I had to do. It's not my favorite, but it's also that I don't dislike it either.
Right.
It's not necessarily in my wheelhouse. It's probably the best way to say it. So the problem is with me, not with the artist.
So
see, what we've got is we've got the wrong John on this episode. Disney John was always all about my picks.
So what, you have a favorite track out of the ones on the list?
I honestly liked them all, and it's hard to distinguish from one. And this is going to sound shitty, but I like Birds because it's the shortest. Because who writes a 1:44 instrumental?
Okay, well,
and just for that reason, that I'm going to write an instrumental, but it's only 1:44 long. It's not an instrumental; that's an intro,
right?
Dayton hates it because it's not long.
That long,
Yeah.
You know what?
and it probably I can't remember if it fades out or not.
To be fair, with Galactic Cowboys, I did not pick their longest song, so it stopped. So I will admit that this was good background music, and that being said, when I was driving or when I was at work, it became just kind of background and I didn't really get a chance to listen to it. So I actually had to stop and all right, I need to listen to this and get into it, because as I was listening, my brain went like, hey, that sounded like Vinnie Moore. Hey, that sounded like Tony McAlpine. Hey, and that was the entire time, was that I was more reminded of other people that did it before him. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because if you're going to imitate people, might as well imitate some of those guys that came before you that were really talented. But for me, I didn't feel like he did enough different stuff. Because I agree. I've seen some of his stuff on YouTube and the dude can play, but sometimes it didn't translate to me wanting to go dig deeper into his catalog. So not bad at all. I enjoyed it, but at the same time, I'm like, if I'm writing, I would put him on the background so that way I don't sing along to a song. It would just be good background music, and so I appreciate it for that. My favorite track is actually Moonflower. It's the heaviest track he did. On the 7 songs.
The heaviest of the ones I included.
Yeah, and when it came on, I'm like, okay, I'm here for this one.
You hear a title like Moonflower, and you don't expect something that heavy.
Yeah,
exactly. It's like hearing a happy song, but when you read the lyrics, you're like, oh my God, that's so depressing. Moonflower sounds like very hippie-ish, and then it came out like this. I'm like, oh, okay, fine. and I was good. And, and it does have a fade out, but that's okay. It was okay.
And now to the point of not really sounding a whole lot different from some of the past shredders that we all know and loved. I hear the criticism. I don't think you're entirely wrong. I just appreciate it for somebody in this day and age.
Oh, agreed.
Still doing that, keeping that art form alive, and hopefully
100%,
we'll get
100%.
some more people to come along and pick it up and carry it into the next generations.
Well, for the most part, in rock and stuff like that, the Guitar Hero is more or less dead. Modern rock bands, for the very few of them, even have guitar solo breaks or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I applaud anybody that does this and brings back, this is a Guitar Hero, this is a guitar, shredder, and I like that. But like I said, if you're going to imitate people, might as well imitate those people. And I don't want it to sound like it was a criticism, but for me, it was just like, that's where my brain kept going. Oh, this sounds like, from Vinnie Moore or whatever. And that's kind of, where my brain was for the 7 songs you picked. So, but all right. I guess it's time to move on to Eric's pick, your artist, why you picked them, and let's talk about your playlist.
Okay, I picked the band called Big Wreck, which is led by Ian Thornley. I just picked them because I've always really, really liked them, and it seems like they're very underrated. A lot of people don't know who they are. I think they're criminally underrated.
Yep.
As far as why I picked the songs, I don't know. They've got a lot of songs I like, so I just kind of picked the ones I like the most off a fairly good sized chunk of their albums.
Right.
What else do you want to know? I think Ian is a fantastic guitar player, and I think he might be a better singer than he is a guitar player. He kind of reminds me of Chris Cornell when he sings.
I saw that. I picked up notes. I can
hear that. I hear that.
But I've seen them live, and he is as good as he plays guitar on the records. He will blow your mind live. He's such a good guitar player. Which is probably why I'm attracted to him.
So this is your second Canadian band you've picked for us.
Yes, it is.
I was wondering if they're Canadian. I hadn't looked. So
yeah, I looked them up briefly because I actually had to look up Pliny just to see because my brain kept hearing those other artists. I'm like, who is this guy? So I looked him up. Oh, he's from Australia. Oh, like, okay, fine. That's as much as deep I dove into him. But
it's funny. I used to go to Canada a lot for hockey.
Yeah.
With my own team, and it could have been that's where the first place I heard these bands, and that's why I like them or something. I never thought about that hard. So
I had heard of them before, but I had never heard any of their stuff before. The names popped up on something I've either watched or listened to. So I was like, when I saw your picks, I'm like, I know this band's name, but I don't know their stuff. So,
I've been pushing them to everybody. I know I've recommended them to Tim in the past.
Oh yeah. The Oath has been on my liked song list for quite a while, but I never really did a deep dive to go into much else.
Well, this was a first time listen for me, and as soon as I started listening to the playlist, I'm like, okay, these guys have this 1990s college alt rock sound that I really dig, and I know you're a fan of, and so I'm like, okay, that made sense, and I really liked the guitar tone on most of the songs. It didn't sound like anybody else.
Yeah, real thick.
Yeah, really thick.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, it has that. Had you told me these guys were from the 90s, I would have been like, how did I miss them? But
they were from the 90s. So.
Okay, well, they're still active is what I'm saying. Yeah, which is cool because, it's kind of nice that they're still touring and having new music come out. But yeah, it's like the songs are well written. There's good arrangements. I really like the production. And as tight as they sound, there's still a raw feel to the songs as well, which I really dig, because some artists can't do both, and I feel like they did. So I gotta admit, I have started adding some of their other albums to a playlist. So I didn't get a chance before this to dive into the other ones, but I want to give them more of a listen because I did enjoy these guys quite a bit. In fact, I had to flip a coin on which of my favorite songs, and I ended up going with that song as my favorite track.
We actually do that song in the band I'm in. So.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I like that.
Nobody ever knows what it is.
It's one of yours. It's an original.
Yeah, at the time, they do think it's original.
Yeah, they have no friggin' idea. So, all right. John, thoughts on Big Wreck?
I really like them. Like I said, getting a chance to get familiar with them. You stole my thunder, Eric, with the vocals, because I picked up some Chris Cornell. I picked up a little bit of Miles Kennedy in there from time to time. The overall sound, again, I think you nailed it. It's like this post-grunge 90s alt rock thing. Favorite song for me is Fall Through the Cracks. I just love the driving, and it's a relatively simple riff, or simple sounding riff. It's probably not. It's probably one of those deceptively hard things. But in my limited musical skill, I'm like, hey, I might be able to play that if I would get the guitar out again. But yeah, I kind of dug these guys.
All right. Tim.
I'm in the same boat as you guys. I really dug these guys. I was aware of them thanks to Mr. Brock for a few years now. But yeah, The Oath was the only song I'd really had down on my list as something I really liked that. Going through his list for this episode, yeah, everything else I really like too. I think I'm in agreement with you, Dayton, on favorite song is that song. That one just really stuck out to me on the first listen through and the repeated listen throughs. It just kind of stayed there.
All right. Well, good. So now that we picked my other one, my other one was Ought to Be. That was what I was choosing between that and that song. So that was a lot of fun. Nice. The chorus on that one, really hooky, really fun to sing along to. So I really dug
one
that.
of their newer songs too. So
Okay. Yeah, I gotta admit, the only one that I didn't love was Albatross. I wanted to like it, but for some reason, it just didn't hit with me. Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was just when I went back through the playlist again, it was the song I kind of forgot about. You know, I think part of it is because it's after Ought to Be, and I really dug that song a lot, and it's just kind of like, well, fine. But anyway, all right. Anything else on Big Wreck? Nope. All right, cool. Let's move on to mine, and I chose Ali Venable, or the Ali Venable Band.
I was just 16, Texas neighborhood. They said I played good, real gone, I get real gone. Come on, hey, real gone song.
Now, for me, she was a recent discovery, and I did mention her on our supergroup draft. And if you have not checked out that episode, go back and do that. These guys here, we were drafting supergroups, and that was a very, very fun episode. And for that one, I picked Blues Rock, and she popped up when I was looking for certain artists. And YouTube helped, and I started watching her play. And I was like, okay, who the hell is this? And I was just surprised. So a little bit about her. She began singing in church at age 4, picked up the guitar at age 12, and by age 13, she had a band. After hearing Stevie Ray Vaughan, blues rock became her passion, which, if you're going to be inspired by somebody, Stevie Ray Vaughan is a very good pick. At age 14, she released a debut EP and has since released 6 full-length albums. Guitar World magazine named Ali number 2 on their top 15 young guns, making the Les Pauls cool again, which is kind of nice. She's recorded with Buddy Guy, Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Eric Gales, and I always mess up his name, Joe Bonamassa. Those are just a few of the people she's performed with on her albums. There's been many others. So the songs I picked, I wanted to make sure there was a little bit of variety coming from all their albums. Now, she has 2 albums that she released prior, apparently on a different label, and those 2 are not available on Spotify. So the songs came from the 4 albums that are available. And I wanted to make sure I included songs off each album because I wanted to make sure that you could hear the progression, the songwriting, and the performance, and also how her vocals change and I think improve in a lot of different ways. Some of the songs were picked for certain reasons. Sad Situation, I think the riff in that one is kind of awesome, and I think shows some pretty maturity for such a young age at the time. Real Gone, I think, is probably the most commercially accessible song. And had it been released in another decade, it probably would have been a nice big single for her. Any Fool Should Know, I think, really shows her vocal ability and the range. And also it sounds completely different than the other 6 songs that I picked. And Money and Power, I think, really shows off her guitar and her voice, how she can make them both sound angry and kind of awesome at the same time. But there's other ones on there too, but those are the ones I wanted to mention. Why I picked her those particular songs. So that being said, we'll start with John. Thoughts on Ali Venable and favorite track if you have one.
All right.
Here it comes. Everybody's going to shit on my pick.
No, it is not a shit. It is not a shit on your pick. Let me start by saying she's very talented and she has a good voice. But when I'm wanting to hear blues rock, I need somebody that's had a few shots of Jack Daniels and grew up in smoky bars.
Is she of age yet?
Yeah, she
Yeah,
doesn't-
she's 27 and she does have a
Okay.
song called Brown Liquor. So
Yeah.
it's not. So,
Well, that doesn't mean anything, but I mean, she's a very talented musician, but it's just for me, the songs are too clean. There's not that blues rock feel that I get from other artists that I'm more familiar with
okay.
in that genre. It didn't necessarily because of the production is so clean on it and everything is so crisp. It was hard for me. I'm like, this is going to sound bad. I don't mean for it, but it's the only comparison I can. It almost sound like someone singing karaoke to a blues track.
That's not supposed to sound bad.
It's not supposed to. It's not. It's the only description I could come up with, and I don't mean it negatively because she's got a great voice. It's just I need. She needs a little bit more life experience, I think, for it to fall into my wheelhouse of something
right.
that I would frequently listen to.
All right. Okay. Tim?
I'm looking at Mr. Brock's face during John's summation, and I'm thinking that he and I are probably on the same page with this one.
Jeez. All right. Maybe I should have picked
I'm
somebody
kind of
else.
hoping Tim would be positive before we get to me.
For me,
Apparently not.
she was fine. She was fine. The first two tracks really sound like pretty much just straight country, which is never gonna score many points with me. And if I'm comparing her to other female country artists that my wife really enjoys listening to, and I white knuckle my way through the car ride when she's playing them, I've heard the same thing done an awful lot. It just sounds like kind of the same old. And as for her voice, it's not bad, but there's just something about, and I think it might be the production, her recording team. It's just so very dry and flat sounding against the other instruments. Like not flat pitch wise, just like there's no reverb. It's almost like it's in like coming at you from inside a blanket or something. Just kind of flat. And overall, I didn't really, nothing stood out. Nothing really grabbed me. It was just there. It was fine.
All right. All
Might
right.
be
Here comes the
positive than
haymaker.
Tim.
Here comes the haymaker from Eric.
Now, my note actually says, I know Dayton really likes this, and he's going to give me shit, especially, or I will especially feel bad if he likes my pick. But I didn't like it very much. And I thought the guitar playing is good, but I'm not a fan of her voice at all. I do not like the way she sings. It made it a hard listen for me, if I'm being honest.
All right.
As far as tracks, I actually have two. I have Sad Situation for the music,
Right.
and I have Money and Power for the overall, like the whole song.
Right.
But I don't know what it was. I did not like her voice from the get-go, and I never did end up liking it throughout
All right.
all the songs. So. But I like some of the riffs, a lot of good riffs, and I like some of the guitar and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She sounds a lot younger than she is, and I think that's some of it. For me anyway, it's like I feel like I'm listening to a teenager sing the blues, and what the hell is a teenager singing the blues for? Not that they can't, but I don't know.
It made me think of Crossroads when Blind Dog told Ralph Macchio, he goes, "You're from Long Island, times is hard." You gotta live a little to sing about the blues.
Yeah,
That's fair. All right.
yeah. I mean, I agree with Eric. I mean, she's a great guitar player. Not taking a thing away from her, but that way. But and maybe that's what I don't dislike her voice, but it just doesn't gel with. Like Tim said, it sounds it's too separate. Give me a live recording where everybody's in one room and let me hear her fight to get over the lead guitarist that's playing too loud or something like that. And let me get some
Well,
strain
she
in her
was the
voice.
lead guitarist.
Okay, well,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
all right. Let me hear. Let me hear her fight to get over the rhythm guitarist or get over the drummer that's playing too loud. You know.
Yeah,
Let me hear
the production is just so flat. That's the word that keeps that stuck in my head.
Let me hear some
she
strain
gets
in her
swall-
voice
yeah,
from time to
She
time.
gets swallowed up.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Okay.
I don't think it's her ability. I think it's the team around her's ability is hampering her a little bit.
All right. All right. Well, that definitely did not go the way I was hoping, but that's okay. As
I will say on other music episodes and stuff, you have come out with some other female artist picks that I like a lot better. Plush comes to mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually expected Eric to be a lot more negative across the board based on
You guys already said most of the
comments.
negative stuff. So-
Luckily, Tim went before me, so it actually made me seem kind of positive.
The softer, gentler Eric. Eric after he's had his Metamucil.
Oh, jeez.
I thought you and I were going to be the terror twins like usual. And Tim and Dayton was like that, but-
I'm trying to be more positive. Life has been shit lately, so I'm trying to put some positivity out there and hopes that karma will pay me back a little bit. I mean, I don't want to. I said a long time ago on one of these episodes, I'm not going to shit on anybody's music taste. If it's something you like and it's something you're into, then go for it, man. More power to you. But it's just not. Some of this stuff's just not for me anymore.
Right. I get that.
Well, that's why I said in my note, I'm really going to feel bad because I know Dayton. I think Dayton has brought her up to me in the past because I definitely recognize the name and all.
Yeah.
when he brought it up, but I knew he liked it, and I was like, oh man. I actually went into it thinking I'm probably going to like this because it's guitar based and whatnot.
That's all right. That's all right.
Happen, yeah.
No, it didn't happen.
And then I went on the most negative. So
That's all right.
I just felt like the old format of Eric being the most negative was getting a little stale. So I just wanted to try and change it up some.
Definitely not healthy for you. Anyway. Well,
sometimes healthy hurts.
Yeah, it's like trying to force down broccoli is what it is.
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to be released as a video, but I've been watching Eric's mood lighting change. It's progressively gotten darker. So I was just waiting for hell to be unleashed.
Yeah, he kind of went to the red, the Sith Lord look there.
There we go. All right, so yes, there will be a playlist accompanying this episode. I will put a link to it in the show notes as well as share it on social media, so you guys can have a chance to check out all the artists we discussed tonight, and let us know what you think about that. So before we get out of here, I want to thank my guest this evening. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, Easter Bunny.
And thank you, Tim.
If that burn keeps persisting, put some cream on that.
What the fuck? Jesus. Anyway, these guys will be back. The whole group will be back probably for our Iron Maiden Somewhere in Time episode. And Tim and John will be back for our next Metallica episode where we discuss the Black Album and Load and Reload. The reason it's all one episode is because there's just not much great music on those three albums, but I'm continuing one Metallica episode every season, and I'm sticking to it. So that's why we're doing those three albums together. Anyway, I want to thank our listeners for spending time with us and listening every week. It does mean a lot to us. You spend time with us. Reach out on social media and share thoughts on this episode and any other episodes prior as well. If you can't get enough this way, we do have a YouTube channel where we drop new videos every Friday, as well as shorts whenever I get a chance to do that. And if you want to help support the podcast and get even more content, jump on over to Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you get exclusive content. And if you ask nicely, I'll send you some podcast swag. Other episodes I want to mention, the Count of Monte Cristo from 2002 and special guest John Reed of the 30 Something Movie Podcast will be joining us for that. And yet another in our 1977 series where these guys will be back again. I can't seem to get rid of them. We are discussing the album from Rush, A Farewell to Kings. So there you go. And also on Patreon, we have Gross Point Blank and a review of Metallica's EP, the 598 EP, which no longer costs $5.98. But hey, you know. Anyway, do yourself a favor, listen to more music. And remember, physical media is better than streaming.
Handshakes, the deals made, the green paper cuts dry like a razor blade.
The Docking Bay 77 podcast is produced and edited by Dayton Johnson. Recorded with Rode Pod mics, the Zoom PodTrack P4, and edited on Audacity. Opening music provided by Eric Jason Brock. You can find him on YouTube and Bandcamp. Thank you for listening.